So Be Loyal provides a very hyper-efficient way for businesses from all sizes to really kind of implement and maintain their loyalty program. Pretty much all large businesses spend a lot of money on retaining customers, and loyalty points programs are a key component of those programs. By 2023, the market size is expected to grow to $6.8 billion. The market trend is changing. The demographics, really due to the demographics, technology behind it. Around 80% of millennials and Gen Xers, they prefer to have stronger loyalty programs. Over half of the consumers said that the in-app mobile apps, the main benefit of those apps is really the in-app promotions and discounts that they get out of it. On the other hand, 40% of the shoppers says that physical cards are the main obstacle in participating in the rewards program. So you might think that all these businesses will be investing in building their mobile-based loyalty program. However, only 7% of retailers are offering a mobile component to their loyalty program. So we looked at why that was the case, and really, it's really costly and complicated to build and implement this kind of system. First, you need to think about what kind of rewards points that you want to have, what kind of value it's going to hold. You have to hire technical and non-technical experts to build or outsource the development. You have to make sure that the points are recorded in a very secure fashion. You have to keep track of all the transactions on the centralized database. And in the end, someone needs to keep track of everything after the launch to make sure that campaigns are going smoothly. You have to make changes to the programs. So this is why of the 80% of the companies that do not have a mobile component to the loyalty program, said that really the technical kind of complication is the main reason behind them not building such a system. The solution is really a product built for any size business to quickly implement a hyper-efficient loyalty program on the TODA network. And the network has a number of benefits. Everything's integrated so that it can provide a seamless, frictionless experience for mobile experience for their customers. The decentralized system reduces costs for these businesses to maintain and implement the system, especially for those larger businesses with a lot of interlinked businesses. It basically powers all sales channel and really allowing businesses of any size to really implement mobile-based loyalty programs. We're currently onboarding some of the key leading retailers in Canada as part of this proof of concept program. We expect to have a successful pilot by year end, and we expect high conversion into key partnerships. In terms of some high-level roadmap, like I mentioned, pilot program with some of the key members as well as smaller businesses throughout the year. Next year, I'll be focused on commercialization, and then following is where it gets really interesting with all the data that's been collected on the network. It provides opportunities for different types of business to interact with their ecosystem of loyalty points. So it makes the whole ecosystem very efficient. Every business is different. They want to implement different types of loyalty programs. So it provides that kind of flexibility while also allows these different businesses to interact with each other through such partnerships. The business model is pretty simple. It's one-time fee for implementation, a fixed recurring cost or revenue on a monthly basis, and where it gets more interesting is revenue share on the success of the loyalty program that's being implemented. And this is currently in discussions with some of the partners. In terms of team, obviously I'm the executive sponsor behind this project. Collectively, the team that we have on the slide built over 5 platforms for some of the leading corporates and financial institutions around the world. Ken has built the first travel assistant bot for the Asian travel market. It now collects over 20 million data points every week. He has secured partnership with airlines, hotel chains, over 200 airlines and hotel chains around the world. James is a serial entrepreneur, brings in the technical expertise. Lately, he has built a SaaS platform for Major League Sports like NBA playoffs and MLB, really focusing on analyzing consumer behavior and really to help these organizations retain and engage with their users. So we believe loyalty points as just the beginning provides a lot of opportunities for this business. And down the road, it goes into CRM in terms of payments and any other types of marketing intelligence that we can build on top of this. That concludes my presentation. Happy to take questions.
Thanks, Han. This is fantastic. I just want to say a few words why I'm super excited about this. So I've met Han maybe a couple of months ago, and so it's a super fresh company. The next one you will notice that we met a couple of years ago, and it's at a much later stage. However, Han quickly realized the whole potential of TODA and decided to bring in the point system as a platform. You would notice that there are about 15 companies that they're trying to do the loyalty on top of blockchain. Why they would want to do that is because of all the reasons of what Han mentioned. But if it's not efficient, if it's not scalable, it won't run. And they're all going to be clients of Han and Han's team. So congratulations on a quick turnaround. And any questions? I'm here to act as an executive sponsor as well.
So yeah, I think it's a great program. My question is, like I have different points from different company, right? How can that share between different company? Maybe you can provide a unique token, kind of as a base coin to convert the loyalty point from one company to another company.
So that's one of the reasons why Han and his team decided to build on TODA. So with TODA we have something on level 32, which is the interoperability layer for all blockchains, which is the layer where all the packets they sit on top of. All the packets they are on level 32, and with that you're able to exchange between any packets that they are enabled with the network and any device that has the power of 3% of what mobile devices have. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so yeah, my question is it's really, if you have the points from an airline company, you can using these points in grocery store. That could be a good visual. Is this what you're trying to solve?
Yeah, so if you think about, that's really the way to think about it. As a consumer, you're really going out there spending your money, you're collecting different types of points. It is right now very complicated for these companies to integrate their point system, and that's really driven by their own business practices and their situation. So having it on a TODA layer allows for that kind of partnership to happen very quickly without having all these other custom implementation to make these point systems talk to each other in a secure fashion.
Sounds good. Thanks.
But consensus of how the change rate is still a big difficulty. Like say a bank, when we go to open an account, they give us some kind of score, and then we go to fly, they give me some kind of score. But when you try to let these two different industries to talk to each other, the consensus, how the consensus can reach very efficiency. Thank you.
Yeah, so the raison d'etre of the business is to enable those point platforms to sit on top of something that is interoperable. That's one of the reasons, and the other reason is the scalability and efficiency that you mentioned. So the reason why they would want to use the system is to answer that question, basically, is to become interoperable, is to become, and that's technically speaking. Now, as we all know, if you enable something technologically, the rest of the business may or may not follow. That's something that depends on how the business execution, but that's what the technology is intended on doing. We have one more question before we move to TODA Q, so no.
So my question is relating to the points. Are they represented as assets on the platform? And if so, how do you work within regulation in terms of this classification of assets and capital gains taxes? Or is that relevant for you?
Yeah. So the idea is to really kind of first use the system to replicate the current situation. Loyalty points is not new; it's been around for decades. So really, the first step is to kind of replicate that kind of system on a more efficient platform. Later on, when it becomes when the points become spendable into other types of assets, then we'll have to make sure that everything is secure and everything is tracked up and properly in its regulation. So that's kind of the plan.
Thanks, An. I didn't know the answer to that question because when it comes to regulatory compliance stuff, I believe that the current blockchain, and it's often I do a lot of seminars for regulators, they ask me, they say, AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. What do you think blockchain, what kind of jobs it's going to replace? And I point at them and I'm like, the first going to be your jobs.